Good morning and welcome. I am Annette Wallace, your worship associate this morning. And whether the Unitarian Church of Evanston is your spiritual home or you're seeking comfort and connection in uncertain times, we are grateful you are with us. We are an inclusive and welcoming community seeking truth and love and striving to nurture the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. Together, let us remember our kinship with one another as we hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention. There are many links of connection in the comments section of the YouTube live stream, including the order of service credits, ways to support our mission, and to be added to our email newsletter list. There is also a PDF of the order of service you can access through the QR code near the sanctuary door. A few announcements. Today we are introducing kinship time at the back of the sanctuary immediately following the service for 20 minutes from 11:15 to 11:35. During kinship time, you are encouraged to visit with one another and especially to greet newcomers. We won't have coffee yet, but water and hard candies. You are welcome to bring hot beverages from home in travel mugs if you like. Our faith formation hour at 11:35 includes the forum discussion group in room 6 and on Zoom. Today's topic is Memento Mori, or Remember Your Death. And there's a reflection with the minister in the minister's office. Our end statement and experience of the Holy Conversations begins today at 1 o'clock on Zoom, and there are 5 more conversations scheduled after today. Please sign up on our website or from the newsletter. The annual Transgender Day of Remembrance service is on November 20th at 5 o'clock and will be available in person in room 3 and also on Zoom. The link will be in our newsletter, so please join us. Today is the deadline for submitting donations for the Serendipity auction, so don't delay a moment longer. Have a donation but not sure how to donate it on the website? Just email us and we will help. Also, the kickoff for the auction on Sunday, November 14th, that's next week, will now be at 11:15 a.m. right after the church service and before faith formation. This information will be shown virtually and in person.
Before our service starts, we have a short video presentation by our endowment committee. Members of the committee will be available for questions and to share information about this tremendous resource of our endowment, which helps us to live our mission and values in the community. Thank you to the endowment committee and trustees for the hard work that you do to sustain and put to good use this tremendous financial gift.
Good morning. I'm Margaret Schatz, Chair of UCE's Endowment Fund Committee. Welcome to Endowment Sunday. Endowment Sunday is an opportunity to say thank you and to let you know how the fund has been used over the past year. First of all, thank you to our generous donors. Thank you to applicants who submit proposals so that fund can be used in support of congregational enrichment, our building and grounds, and the larger community. And I'd also like to thank past and present endowment fund trustees and committee members who have a vision and work with passion to make it come true. This year, fund money was used to purchase the 8th principal poster hanging in the lobby and the equipment used by Adam to facilitate hybrid worship services and meetings, It's also been used to engage our monthly storytellers. The fund also supports scholarships to regional and national meetings, the worship arts, the upkeep of our building and grounds, and most recently, the installation service for Reverend Eileen. The impact of UCE extends to the larger community through endowment-funded outreach projects which reflect our mission and our belief in social justice for all. A grant to Interfaith Action of Evanston contributed to the current renovation of the Hospitality Center for the Homeless at nearby St. Mark's Episcopal Church, and it will be used to purchase 120 blankets for the overnight shelter and pay for laundering them for 6 months. The Racism, Reparations, and Reconciliation Grant funded 3 virtual workshops in September for the entire Evanston community. And here at UCE, an endowment grant was used to establish the Anti-Oppression Fund. And there's continuing support for Connections for the Homeless, Family Focus, Solidarity Circles, and Chalice House. See that every gift to the UCE Endowment Fund is important, and there are so many reasons for giving. Make a gift in celebration of a birth or birthday, marriage, graduation, or retirement. Make a gift as a special tribute or in recognition of a friend or family member. Make a memorial gift to honor the passing of a loved one. Planned estate gifts may be arranged in advance, and if you're thinking of a large gift, consider enrollment in the Nellie Brow Society. Gifts to the endowment fund, for whatever reason, ensure a strong future for UCE and an impactful presence. Thank you.
We come together to worship, to lift up what is of worth in our lives, to hold sacred the gift of mind, body, and spirit, to join in community which deepens our commitment to healing, to growth, to transforming ourselves and the world. In this shared hour, set aside each week, we remember we are part of a vast tapestry and glorious belonging to freedom, freedom from terror and trauma, and freedom to sing and fly. Our opening reading is The Caged Bird by African-American writer, editor, essayist, playwright, and poet Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The Unitarian Church of Evanston sits on stolen lands, the traditional and current homelands of the Council of the Three Fires. I'm sorry. I'm getting so old, I forgot the best part. The Unitarian Church of Evanston sits on stolen lands. The traditional and current homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Odawa, Ojibwe, the Potawatomi Nations, many other tribes such as the Miami, Menominee, Ho-Chunk, Sac, and Fox have and continue to call this area home. We name these in honor and respect for the land, all the animals and plants that have lived on and through the land, and all people who have been and remain a part of the earth. Our shared faith calls us to name these as one small effort toward greater accountability, deeper relationship, and mutuality with our ancestors, living communities, and descendants. As the Endowment Committee lights our chalice, symbol of our living tradition, please join us. By saying these words by Amarette Callaway. In memory of all the flames that didn't die, in the midst of darkness, in spite of the darkness, we light this flame today. Please rise in body and or spirit and join in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to flow together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. If you are here in person, we invite you to hum along or mouth the words. If you are joining us from home, please feel free to sing along to hymn number 399, Vine and Fig Tree.
Shall live in peace and unafraid. Good morning. How many of you have ever gone to summer camp? Raise your hand. Yeah, what a great experience, huh? Wasn't the first time just a little bit scary, though? Just a little bit. You know, perhaps you didn't know everyone. That was true for me. It was in a strange place. Maybe scary things happened, you know, especially at night when it's dark. And once you got through those scary things, you rallied with the new friends you made, and everything was great. And afterwards, you could laugh about it and breathe a sigh of relief, right? So here's a sort of song you might have learned at camp or somewhere else. It's what I would call an echo song, where I would say a line and then you say it back. And if you want to do some hand motions on your own or make some sound effects, the more the merrier in this case. There is a refrain at the end that says, "Got to go through it." And everybody gets to say that, of course. So let's try it. Got to go through it. Got to go through it. Sweet. All right, here we go. We're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. Oh, I'm supposed to let you repeat. I'm so sorry. I have already messed up my story. Oh, let's try that again. All right. We're going on a bear hunt. Gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Oh no, some long wavy grass. We can't go over it. Can't go under it. Gotta go through it. Swishy swashy, swishy swashy. We're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Oh no, a river, a deep, cold river. We can't go over it. Can't go under it. Gotta go through it. Splash, 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 splash. We're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. No. Oh no. It's mud. Thick, oozy mud. We can't go over it. Can't go under it. Gotta go through it. Squelch, squirch, squelch, squirch. We're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Oh no, a forest. A big, dark forest. Can't go over it. Can't go under it. Gotta go through it. Stumble, trip, stumble, trip. We're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Oh no, a cave. A narrow, gloomy cave. Can't go over it. Can't go under it. Gotta go through it. Tiptoe, tiptoe. Uh-oh. What's that? One shiny wet nose. Two furry ears. Two big googly eyes. It's a bear. Hurry back through the cave. Tiptoe, tiptoe. Back through the forest. Stumble, trip, back through the mud. Squelch, squirt, squelch, squirch. Back through the grass. Swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy. I forgot the river, back through the river. Splish, splash, splish, splash, you got it. Down the road. Get to our front door. Up the stairs. Oh no, we forgot to lock the door. Back down the stairs. Shut the door. Back up the stairs. Into the bedroom. Into bed. Under the covers. Phew, that was close. We're not going on a bear hunt ever again.
Good to be here. Good to see you all. Good to see your faces. Each Sunday, we hold space for the joys and sorrows of those gathered, honoring the struggles and the triumphs, the brokenness and the wholeness that is woven into our shared human experience. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like shared on Sunday morning, you can write it either in the book, which is this little book, which is found at the back table, or you can enter it into the Google form on our website, or you can simply email me. These are the joys and sorrows that have been shared today. Joy from Emily and Matt Ekwalsana, who welcomed their baby boy, Robin, into the world on Monday. Very exciting. Everyone is well, although a little sleep deprived, and they look forward to bringing Robin to church in the coming months. Jean Butson and Jim Strickler are pleased to share that their two children are both working in jobs they enjoy. Casey has just completed her first month as a physician assistant at a medical clinic run by a supportive housing organization in Portland, Oregon. And Hank, who works for the Democratic members in the Illinois House of Representatives, has just been promoted from issue staff to the communications staff. Always exciting when our UU kids grow up and do great things. Yay. And this was shared, I'm not sure by who, but thinking of Jean Durkin sending healing thoughts. She's in the 6th week of a sinus infection. Are thinking of Eugene. We know these are not the only joys and sorrows on our hearts today. This sacred space for our tender offerings is part of the practice of beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and lessen the burden of our grief. As we hold those that are spoken and those that are unspoken but held in our hearts, please join me in this prayer written by Reverend Leslie Takahashi, lead minister at the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church in Walnut Creek, California, who also was the chair of the Commission on Institutional Change. This is a prayer for when words fail, for when they are not big enough or small enough to slip into the little cracks left in our hearts by life's unbearable pressures. This is a prayer for when the biggest noun cannot know the enormity of joy, or when the most active verb is paralyzed in the face of grief unuttered, horror undescribed, or loss beyond accounting. This is a prayer for when words, precious emblems though they are, cannot take into their embrace the hugeness of experience or the expanse of indebtedness or the many tangles of complexity and confusion. This is a prayer for when we must sit with our breath, kneading the small truths we can touch as if they were therapy for our restless hands. This is a prayer for all who have known the large void of hope, which is trauma. This is a prayer for wounded hearts and bodies, for those whom we ought to always remember and sometimes choose to forget. This is a prayer that begins with gratitude for what we can understand and know and ends with humility, which reminds us that not all is ours to do. This is a prayer for those times when words fail and all that is left is the yes and the no of it all, and our ability to let the cord of the breath lead us from this moment to the next. This is a prayer for all who have been lost, that in our memory they might be found. May we be the ones to make it so.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in,
UCE is called by our mission, values, and principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. Today's offering will be shared with Renaissance Social Services, whose mission is changing the lives of individuals and families in Chicago, giving them hope and vision for a new life. Here is a video showing the impact of their work.
My name is Dimitri Porter. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I grew up in the projects on 45th and Evans. My family didn't accept my lifestyle, gay. When I got out of college and they actually kicked me out the house when they found out, I probably was homeless for about a good 3 years. And then I fell into it with the wrong crowd and started doing drugs and drinking a lot. We formed like a little gay gang. Some people were prostitutes, some people became drag queens. I became a drag queen, started doing shows. There was a lot of competition. I was the new kid on the block and I actually was pretty good and, a little jealousy arose. It was some of the most freeing times, if you really think about it, you didn't have to pay the bills. You didn't have rent. You didn't have really anything to do but kick it. And at that point, I had just got out of college. I was 22 and footloose and fancy free. So, but I mean, there were bad moments. All of it wasn't a party. Some people got raped. Some people got murdered. And most have died of AIDS and stuff like that, due to reckless behavior. I had a lot of reckless behavior and I'm still trying to figure out why I don't have it. But thank you, Jesus. That was the hardest part, watching friends die, being in the hospital with them, holding their hand while they take their last breath. And me experiencing so much going to jail and knowing that I didn't want to go again, I have to find a way out. And thank God for people like Renaissance Housing. I mean, I always tell my friends, and they laugh every time I say it, I said, Renaissance is like a phone booth was to Superman. It gave me a place to change. You didn't just give me an apartment, you gave me a new lease on life. Yeah, I haven't lived on the South Side in 30 years since I was 20. But the best thing about it was just being able to walk in my own front door with my key and closing it and knowing nobody could get on the other side of that if I didn't want them to. I'm 50, I've come a mighty long way. I don't have AIDS, I'm not locked up, I have a beautiful home, I got people in my life that love me, friends, family. I mean, you guys are like the catalyst that holds this thing together. You have to understand that, Renaissance is the best social service agency. I know it sounds crazy, but for me, it's changed my life completely. I would not have any of this without Renaissance.
You're joining us from home or in the building. You may text to give, mail in a check, or give from our website. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering, pledge, capital campaign, or some other giving. If you are here in the building and have money for the collection plate, please raise your hand. An usher will bring you the collection bowl or box. And please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy. Thank you for your generosity. Our reading is from My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies by Resmaa Menachem, licensed therapist and expert on conflict and violence and trauma consultant. The body is where we live. It's where we fear, hope, and react. It's where we construct and relax, constrict and relax, and what the body most cares about are safety and survival. When something happens to the body that is too much, too fast, or too soon, it overwhelms the body and can create trauma. Contrary to what many people believe, trauma is not primarily an emotional response. Trauma always happens in the body. It is a spontaneous protective mechanism used by the body to stop or thwart further or future potential damage. Trauma is not a flaw or a weakness. It is a highly effective tool of safety and survival. Trauma is also not an event. Trauma is the body's protective response to an event or a series of events that it perceives as potentially dangerous. This perception may be accurate, inaccurate, or entirely imaginary. In the aftermath of highly stressful or traumatic situations, our soul nerve and lizard brain may embed a reflexive trauma response in our bodies. This happens at lightning speed. An embedded trauma response can manifest as flight, flee, or freeze, or as some combination or constriction, pain, fear, dread, anxiety, unpleasant, and or sometimes pleasant thoughts, reactive behaviors, or other sensations and experiences. This trauma then gets stuck in the body and stays there until it is addressed.
Beautiful. Our young ones are invited now to join Kathy and our adult leaders to faith formation. Head, heart, and hands for 1st through 6th grades will be in room 3, preschool and kindergarten in room 9, and nursery in room 11 in the lower level. And you're welcome to stay here as well. Middle and high school youth will meet after worship in room 13. I'm in a small elevator. There are 11 of us in there. I know this because the park ranger is telling me that this elevator holds exactly 11 people at a time. The park ranger is saying this as the elevator goes down into the earth about 1.5 miles or some such distance that simply means too far. I know we are going too far into the earth because the park ranger is saying this to me as I'm packed into this tiny elevator with 10 other people, 3 of whom are my dearest loved ones, on the way down into the dark, close earth. Just a few minutes earlier, I was excited to do a cave walk adventure, but in this moment, my mouth is dry, my stomach clenches, my heart is pounding, my breath constricts, I am panicking. In that moment, I am back in the tiny bathroom closet, and I am 9 or 10. I'm screaming as loud as I can. The stereo is blaring loudly in the room next door, so no one can hear me screaming. I am locked in there because I'm hiding from my brother. He isn't really gonna hurt me, but he chased me upstairs for something annoying I did, and I'm afraid. So I run into the bathroom, and I shut the door, and then I go into the tiny linen closet inside the bathroom, not knowing the closet door doesn't open from the inside. I don't know if I was in there for 5 minutes or 5 hours, but there were welts on my back from trying to push my way out by the time I was discovered and released. In the elevator, going down into the earth, I am brought back in my mind and in my body to that tiny closet decades earlier. Though this is a relatively benign example of trauma, the terror lives in my body. I really wanted my mind to override the feelings in my body, to talk myself into enjoying this cool, dark cave walk with my family, but my body would not let me. My body keeps the score. It keeps the trauma housed so that I can avoid the danger my body perceives. My body serves me well in this way. It protects me from danger, whether it is real or imagined. Our bodies have evolved over millions of years to help us escape danger and have evolved to hold onto the chemical instincts that allow us to survive much, much worse. The cost of such learning, of the stored fear that keeps us ready to respond to danger, is that our bodies can also prevent us from enjoying life too, from being present, from feeling settled and safe, even when there isn't danger. Living with trauma in our bodies is exhausting, and it allows the harm to continue to ourselves and to others. We cannot make the world whole without nurtured spirits living in bodies free from trauma. We are swimming in an ocean of trauma. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. We can't go around it. We have to move through it. And moving through it means releasing it from our bodies by slowing down and attending to it. There's a great deal of research about the impacts of trauma, which helps us to understand how it works, though we can't think our way out of it. We can, however, learn to live in the present in our bodies rather than reliving the experiences of the past again and again. Bessel van der Kolk writes in The Body Keeps the Score, The challenge of trauma treatment is not only dealing with the past, but even more enhancing the quality of day-to-day experience, learning to live fully and securely in the present. Resmaa Menakem, author of My Grandmother's Hands, where our reading this morning came from, talks about metabolizing trauma. He explains we can metabolize the impacts of trauma by being present and settling into our bodies. We can pay attention to and name the chemical and neurological responses in our bodies which are developed by our bodies to protect us. Processing trauma within our own bodies and within our own communities, Menakem claims, is essential to any movement towards larger societal healing and health. You may be still holding on to the tension in your body just from hearing the story I told about being locked in a closet and trapped in an elevator. I am. So hearing my story may have stirred up or triggered trauma that you've experienced, and I'd like to try a short meditation for us to release that. Release those chemical stressors that you might be holding in your body. This comes from coming into the room from My Grandmother's Hands. So sit comfortably with your feet on the floor. Close your eyes if you feel safe enough to do that, and you can also soften your gaze on the floor before you. Let's take in a few deep breaths. In through the nose, and out slowly through your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. In and out. One more in and out. Imagine that you're floating in space. Below you, planet Earth turns slowly. Watch it turn for a few seconds. Slowly descend until the part of the country that you're in fills your field of vision. Imagine the Great Lakes. Stay directly above it like a GPS satellite so that it doesn't move beneath you. Keep descending until you're looking down on the city or town where your body is sitting right now. Continue your descent until you're looking down at the top of the building you're in. See your body within, seated in the chair. Keep dropping slowly and steadily until you can see your body in detail, as if you're about 10 feet above it. Observe your body's posture, any movements it makes, and the clothing it's wearing. Slowly and smoothly descend the rest of the way and slip inside your body. For a few breaths, simply be aware of being in your body. Relax and let the chair support you. Notice the sensation of the chair against your legs and thighs. Notice how it feels against your back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, when you're ready, open your eyes. Orient yourself by looking around the room. You can look behind you. Return to the here and now. Notice how your body feels. When our bodies are in a constant state of alert to danger, real or imagined, there is a chemical buildup that over time becomes toxic. Releasing those chemicals means coming back to our bodies, helping our bodies understand where we are in space and time by noticing and feeling what's happening here and now, slowly and safely. There are many forms of trauma, including intergenerational trauma, like the compounding effects of systemic oppression, poverty, and violence passed down from one generation to the next through DNA and perpetuated patterns of harm. There is childhood trauma from overt and covert abuse and neglect, the effects of which can be debilitating despite a victim's natural resiliency and strength. There is secondary trauma experienced by healthcare professionals, teachers, parents, social workers, therapists, and clergy. Those who witness and try to help address the trauma of others carry the fear, helplessness, and fight, flight, or freeze responses in their bodies, too. And there is the trauma of moral injury, known by those who have caused harm in war or militarized policing or out of their own trauma because hurt people hurt people. Even if you have somehow escaped trauma until now, we have all been traumatized in the last year and a half. Resmaa Menakem identifies some of the qualities of a traumatic event, which include when something is unexpected, when it involves the death of many people and impacts a large area. The pandemic took many of us by surprise, has ended the lives of over 5 million people, and has been experienced all over the world. Add to this a worldwide reckoning with systemic racism and white supremacy, the violent assault on our democracy, and the increasing urgency of the climate crisis. I don't think that there is a human being on earth who is unaffected by trauma. The profound and debilitating impacts of trauma on all of our lives are real, and I want to make it absolutely clear that working through trauma is not easy or simple. It is not something that I can tackle in one 20-minute sermon. The effects of unprocessed trauma may be the most destructive force moving through our world. And yet there is hope. Human beings, we are resilient. And research shows that there are effective ways to work through it. There are trained and skilled trauma therapists and practices that can provide transformational healing. We can work through trauma by re-inhabiting our bodies through movement, dance, yoga, art, writing, theater, music, and more. Engaging in these practices within a supportive community or a therapeutic setting can make a profound difference. We must begin by acknowledging and identifying where trauma lives in our bodies. So let's try another thing. There's an ancient Indian practice of mudras, which focus energy and promote healing through hand and finger positions. So even if you can't do full body yoga, this is something that could be available to you in any moment. This one is called a Black Goddess Gesture, or Kali Mudra, and it is said to lead to a sense of groundedness and security and openness to intuitive wisdom. So I invite you to put your hands together, flat together. Take your pinky, your right pinky, and put it on the outside of your left, and then bring them down like this. You're sort of weaving your fingers together. Leave your ring fingers straight up. Take your right middle finger and put it on the outside of your left, and then your pointer, the right pointer, on the outside of your left pointer. Got it? Now take your thumb, put your left thumb over your right thumb. And then take your elbows and put them flat like this, and we'll just hold this for a few breaths. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax your shoulders. You can hold it as long as you want. You can hold it as long as it's comfortable. It's not magic, but perhaps over time, using simple techniques to be more present in our bodies, to breathe, to sit quietly among attentive community, perhaps we can more courageously move through and beyond fear and pain into a more liberated experience of life. Even taking 3 deep breaths in any moment we are feeling panicked and naming 5 things you see in the room can help bring the trauma response to a manageable place. We all carry compounded trauma, and we are also capable of healing and carrying forward resilience. I want to conclude by lifting up the power of music. I know that not being able to sing together is a deep loss. It is a loss for me too. And the reason why we're not doing that is, in case anybody hasn't heard that, but droplets from singing spread further than just talking. And so we're being very cautious as we come back into community together, hoping that soon we'll be able to sing full-throated together. But for now, I want us to embrace humming, because humming has a powerful experience, the same kind of powerful experience of resonating, that vibration that we share in the room. It moves through our bodies, and it can remind us that we are one. So as a closing, I invite us to hum together Spirit of Life. If you don't know this song, pick a note that is resonant with everyone else and just hum that note. I'll start us off. Gregory's going to give us a chord, and then I'll, get us started, and join in as you're able to. And may we all continue to find ways to move through our trauma, to return to our bodies with resilience and trust in the Spirit of life. And may our transformation within lead us to transforming the world beyond. May we be well.
As the endowment committee extinguishes the chalice, please join in saying these words. It's in time of silver rain. The earth puts forth new life again. Green grasses grow, and flowers lift their heads, and over all the plain, the wonder spreads of life, of life, of life. Please join in singing, humming, or mouthing. Hymn number 1007, There's a River Flowing Through My Soul. Kylie's going to sing so great. This is great. As a reminder, we'll have our 20 minutes or 15 because we're late. I really tried so hard to get this to be stopped on time, but we'll have a 20-minute kinship time in the back, and then we'll start with our faith formation hour. You're invited to come to my office or to head to Forum. As we conclude this hour, we move forward with a deeper commitment to healing and wholeness, and with gratitude for our bodies which have served us well. May we remember our oneness. May we help to create peace. Amen.